This is Jamie Drummond for Good Food Revolution, and today I am joined all the way from Chile, winemaker Emmanuel Riffaud. How are you today, sir?
Yes, fine, Jimmy. Thank you.
Now you're
And you?
outside. You're outside your winery there. It's looking. You got some lovely weather going on.
Yes, yes. We're just. It's the last week of the 21 harvest. We are just finishing our last Carmenère, and we are just with a beautiful, beautiful day. So it's really a pleasure to be here outdoor around the winery.
Now you were originally working in Bordeaux with Mouton Cadet before moving to Chile. My first question for you is, what were the differences and similarities between making wine in these two different locations?
When I came for the first time here in Chile, I came for the first time in 2008 because in 2015 I was in charge of the general manager and also chief winemaker. But before I was in charge of all the technical area here in Chile. So
Ah, I
I
see. I
arrived
see.
yes, just to, and when I arrived, it was quite funny because I thought it was like much more easy than in Bordeaux because I said, okay, we have sun here in Chile. We
Yes.
can obviously use drop water, so just put the water you need to the vines. So it will be very easy to make fantastic wine. And I discovered that in Chile, even if it's a new world country, it's not as easy as you can imagine. And
Right.
because it's like a mosaic of terroir, because the viticulture area in Bordeaux, it's more or less 115,000 hectares. And in
Yes.
Chile, it's 137,000 hectares. So it's just 15% more than in Bordeaux. But if you look to the repartition, north to south, in Bordeaux, it's 150 kilometers. In Chile, it's 1,500
Yes,
kilometers.
of course.
So,
Yes. Yeah.
so it's like stretching the Bordeaux vineyard 10 times more. So just imagine all the possibilities you have or the differences you have in terms of terroir, in terms of climate, and also with the Andes Cordillera in one hand and the Pacific Ocean in the other hand.
Of course.
So you have like a lot of possibilities. So you need to really focus on the terroir and the soil, and so that way I thought it was quite easy, but it was not so easy. And but then I discovered some similitudes because if you have, for example, in France, some valley design with the Loire, with the Bordeaux Valley, with the road, etc. Here in Chile, you have the same with the river. I mean, we are in Maipo, and this is the Maipo River,
Yes, of course.
and with the Maipo Valley, you have the Cachapoal with the Cachapoal River, and so on. So you have some similarities in terms of approach. And then, obviously, we are managing here all the vineyards and also the winemaking approach with the Bordelais standard, I would say.
What are the biggest challenges that one faces creating quality wines in Chile?
I would say mostly to reach the best balance with the maturities and maturities because you have the technologic maturity, which is sugar and acidity, the aromatic maturity, and the phenolic maturity. Because in Bordeaux, you have this or the best compromise between these three maturities in mostly 12 days, 15 days, so I mean 2 weeks. In Chile, it's 3, 4, and sometimes 5 weeks. It was the case in 21. So that means if you want to have a well balance in the wine in terms of freshness or elegancy, you need to reach the best compromise because to avoid overripe grapes, to have the best phenolic maturity, but you are going to lose freshness and also aromatic freshness maturity. So you need to just move in these three parameters and try to have the best compromise. So that's really the very challenging point.
What is the size of the production of the operation down there?
For Escudo, it's like a very boutique production because it's less than 50,000 cases. And the whole production, it's around 200,000 cases of 12. which is very small production for Chile.
Yes. Oh, yes. It just occurred to me yesterday, and I cannot believe my ignorance here, that Escudo Rojo means red shield, so Rothschild. I never made the connection before, and I feel such an idiot for never picking up on that.
No, it's quite funny because you know when because of the history start more than 20 years ago when the Baron Philippe de Rothschild decided to invest for the first time
Yes.
here in Chile. It was obviously for Almaviva to create a chateau concept, and then she was so confident in the Chilean terroir potential, so she decided to create her own company, but also her own wine, which is Escudo Rojo. And as you said, it's the literal translation of Rothschild in Spanish. And the very important point that in the company, we only have two wines with the name of Rothschild on the label. The one is obviously the famous Maipo Rothschild, and then Escudo Rojo, it's in Spanish, but it's the name of Rothschild and not at the name of the company. So it's a very strong sign. And the Baroness was really like with this investment, a visionary project here in Chile.
Now, the project was originally invested in the Bordelais varieties, the grape suite we know well, but you also dabble in Chardonnay, Syrah, and Pinot Noir. How was that experience for you?
Yeah, because the story started with the looking for the best terroir for Cabernet Sauvignon. So that's why, obviously, the project of Almaviva and then our facilities we have here are in the Maipo Valley because the Cabernet Sauvignon also the idea of the Baron Philippe de Rothschild say, okay, we don't really know well Chile, so the first step to be sure it's to do the same thing or the things we are able to do. That's the Cabernet Sauvignon and
Yes.
looking for the best terroir. So we are going to do like the left bank of Bordeaux, try to do the best Cabernet Sauvignon. And then obviously, as I said, we were obviously learning about the terroir of Chile, about the climate, about the possibilities we had. And then we decided to develop some other varieties, like as you said, Syrah. We have also some Chardonnay, some Pinot Noir, etc. So it was very funny because for Bordelais company, when you say, okay, we are going to manage a Chardonnay, we are going to talk about that after the tasting with the Burgundy style, they just look at you and say, what are you saying?
Yeah.
So it was quite funny as experience.
What are the biggest viticultural hazards that you face in your vineyards down there?
I mean, to manage also the water, obviously against the evaporation we have, because sometimes it's very dry climate here in Chile and in the Central Valley, and sometimes you have like more than 10% of evaporation every week. So that means you need to replace, but not to give too much vigor, and also to manage. Obviously, depending on the soil, depending on the grapes, because the Cabernet Sauvignon likes hydric stress, the Cabernet not. So it's really like really challenging to manage the water, and also because we are in a organic transition. So also to manage, obviously, the grass and the vegetal cover, because it's obviously against the vigor of the vines. So this is this combination. You have to have the best compromise. Or the best balance in our ecosystem.
Now, I have to ask, in your years in Chile, have you become addicted to the whole concept of drip irrigation?
Yes, a little bit, because for example, in Chile, in terms of or in Maipo, in terms of irrigation, obviously we use drop water, but sometimes we need to use more water. I mean, for salt, for the salt, for example, if you don't have all the rainfall necessary in 1 year during the winter time to clean a little bit the salt you have in your vineyard, you need to recreate some inundation system just to have a lot of water and to block this water, and then the water in winter is going down, and like the filtration, natural filtration, you need to recreate that. So irrigation, it's quite obviously interesting because you can manage a little bit, and you don't have to wait for the weather coming from the rain, natural rain. So yeah, I've been now a little bit addicted to the irrigation.
I can imagine, especially because of that kind of precision that you're allowed with that.